I think they have taken all efforts with this design to preserve tree number 43, but it does come at a cost of impacting the trees on the north and south side of it.
So your main objection was based on a potential impact to number 43.
Losing all heritage trees I saw as rather difficult for the build, given how mature and their condition. So I was very happy to see tree number 43 preserved, but still upset to see that tree 62 would be removed and that the neighbor's tree could potentially see. That is not a heritage tree, by the way. It's just a neighbor's tree located close.
But you've not taken a position to oppose the removal of tree 62 if it doesn't affect the removal or the health of tree 43.
Is it within the...
So this is the setback line here, this dot. So, and it's really on the line of the front yard setback.
I oppose it because of the design of the house. I think the design being at the very edge of the buildable area is what causes this tree to be removed. I think, given the drawings that you can see of the canopies here, I think there is a design that fits this area and minimizes the impact that tree would see. But I think due to the design is why that tree has to be removed.
Well, they'd have to dramatically change back and scale back the design to avoid removing 62. And if they did anything, they'd probably then end up impacting more on 43. If they change the design to stay away from 62 or make a dramatically small structure.
Yeah, I think this is a good compromise given this situation.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to be heard on this matter again? Nobody? Thought there were two people who wanted to be heard. Okay. We don't want to force you. Okay. All right. If you first could identify yourself, state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Landon Massel. I'm actually the son of Marla Massel and Chuck Cohn. And I've got all sorts of friends, family in Highland Park, 1334 Arbor.
Okay, first, I have to swear
yes,
you
absolutely.
First.
Sorry.
All right.
So first of all, just thank you so much for the work you guys do. You guys are great and volunteers.
Okay, we're just, I just want to, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you guys for the hard work you guys do. It's amazing. Good questions all around. I just want to say that I know that my mom, ever since she was growing up, wanted to live, on this street. Finally finds a property, it's this one, buys the property, designs a dream house for them to spend the rest of their life in, right? Every single component of the house is so important. They find out about the heritage trees, and I've had multiple conversations with them, and they've really tried to work, with you guys, but still being able to accommodate most of what they are trying to achieve with their dream house, the age-in-place house where they could spend the rest of their lives. And, a component of that is, the extension of the bedroom, right? Like, it's something that they've envisioned for a long time, just waking up and being able to sit out in that area and look at the backyard, right? And so I just want to say I'm in favor of, what they are trying to do. I think that they are trying their best to work with the city, and I'm hearing some really good compromise ideas here, and I think that they would be willing to, have both arborists on site, and to hand dig and to do those sort of things. So I would just ask that, they're good people, they want to live in Highland Park, they want to be here, and I hope that you guys can just consider that and consider the compromise that's happening here, and I hope you approve the item. So,
despite there being your parents, you're not at all biased by any chance?
Not at all. I tell her when she's wrong.
All right. Wait, before we does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. All right. Is that all on this matter? Okay. At this point, we'll poll the members of the board and get their opinions, and I'll start with member Beck.
I moved closer to the middle.
They told me my first meeting was going to be easy, so
Well, I'm not going to belabor the point. I do appreciate the presentation, the thought, and the expense that went into modifying the design. You heard what we said, and I think all the criteria have been met, especially given the approval of arborists, the work that we're going to do. I would want to have it amended with the single pier
And the hand digging.
and the hand digging and the arborist on site, but if all those things are in place, I will vote in favor.
Member Trasanski?
Sure. I was in favor of it. I think one of the only two was in favor of it last time. Obviously, when you guys came back, you guys made significant amount of changes. Your plan now keeps tree number 43. You shifted the house 10 feet back, made the basement a little bit smaller. So it shows that you guys really went out of your way to try to make it work, which I think everyone appreciates. I'm in favor of it. I don't necessarily need any modifications, but if everyone else wants the modifications, I absolutely agree to.
Vice Chair Yevlon? I'm sorry, soon to be Vice Chair. Acting Vice Chair? I don't.
I too am in favor of this proposal. I am very appreciative of all of the effort that went into it, as well as from the comments from the community. I mean, that's what makes Highland Park so great, is that we do care, that we do love where we live. I would be in favor of removing tree number 62, so long as we add the one pier for 43, the hand dug, the arborist, and what other preventative measures, either the crane mats or the mulch that you recommended. But with those things in mind, I'd absolutely be fine with removing number 60.
Okay, I'm going to agree with my colleagues, and I would want the amendments in the order. Candidly, I'm not 100% sure on whether all the variance standards for the encroachment has been met, but it's such, I think it would be unreasonable of us at this point to insist that you make the house 160 feet smaller just to say you've done all you can. So I think you've made enough of an effort and spent enough to try and make this happen. And again, with the caveats being that we'd want to amend the approval order to have the additional requirements, which I understand, Mr. Bernstein, you've readily agreed to. Cal? Your conditions are agreeable? Okay, so subject to those conditions, I would approve it. I would vote to approve it as well. So accordingly, I would at this point entertain a motion.
How do we phrase this?
You want me to help you?
Well, I mean, there's all these different stipulations that we're putting on it. Do we just, 'cause it has to come back to us at a
I
subsequent
think
meeting.
if you say that you would approve the two requests subject to the agreement of how they're going to proceed in the construction, being that the request being contingent upon that, I think we can reflect that in the order.
So I'll make a motion to approve both of the requests contingent upon amending the approval order to include hand digging, a single pier, arborists on site, etc. Anything else I forgot?
Other protective measures.
Other protective measure.
The crane,
Well,
et cetera.
Crane mats, hand dug.
I think would be, at the agreement of the city arborist for a tree protection plan. So if anyone can second that, go
Someone
for
want
it.
a second?
Member Yablon seconds.
You have that, Patrick, or you?
Yeah, I got that. So we're going down to one pillar, and then we need our arborist to go out there and do the hand digging
And digging, and also the other protective measures as
with the mats
deemed
and the wood chips.
necessary under the circumstances, crane mats, et cetera.
Yep.
So we've got the motion. It was by Member Beck, seconded by Member Yevlon. Vice Chair Yevlon. So could we get a roll call vote on that, please?
Member Krashansky?
Aye.
Member Beck?
Aye.
Member Yablon?
Aye.
Member Zaransky? Member Hendrick? Vice Chair Bay?
Aye.
Chair calls. Okay. So
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Wasn't easy, but you got what you wanted.
Can we have a directed verdict on the next two?
Is this kind of like coming chair for me or what? Okay. Lost the, yeah. It wasn't. All right, we're going to move on to the next order of business, which is the first order of new business. Again, the variance request 2023-00011. The property address is 333 Woodland. The appellant is Sam King. And do we have a presentation from staff?
Yes. Okay, great. So, we're going to discuss 333 Woodland Road. Applicant Sam King on behalf of owners David and Morgan Rosenberg. The proposal is to add an addition that will exceed the allowable FAR on the property. The zoning is R5 and it meets the minimum lot area of 12,000 square feet. The existing home was built in 1939 and it had a remodel in 2015. So again, the request is to exceed the allowable FAR by 41 square feet. Here's the site location, located within the R5, bordering R4 and R6. Here's an aerial just to kind of get a view of the other houses in the area. So the Plata survey, this is showing the existing footprint of the property. The lot area is 20,512 square feet. The R5 requirement is 12,000 as stated before, which they are well above. And the allowable FAR for this property is 5,908. The bonus, 6,933, is something that we provide to existing homes within Highland Park when they do a remodel. I'll discuss this more, but I just wanted to bring up this number to keep in the back of your mind. So this is the property. If you look here, the addition will be here on the second story, right behind the garage and located approximately right here. The blue is the existing footprint and the yellow is the approximate location of where the new addition will be located. The existing house is 5,656 square feet. The request is to be at 5,949. Again, a 41 square foot addition that is above the maximum FAR. And then the dimensions are roughly 31 feet by 10 feet for 293 square feet. Here's some elevations that show what the addition would look like on the property. And now I'm just going to discuss the floor area estimates of the neighborhood. All these numbers come from the Lake County Assessor's Office. If you'll notice, their house only says 4,654, which is 1,000 less than it actually is. So the accuracy of these numbers are to be determined, but it's the best information that we have to kind of get an estimation. What I think is also powerful is just showing the footprints of the adjacent neighbors, just looking at how large those houses are in comparison to the existing house. I do have some numbers. The average on the block, so 16,881 is the average lot area for houses on Woodland Avenue. So they're a little bit smaller than what this house is at the 20,000. And the average floor area for properties along Woodland is 3,365. Again, a little lower than what is the existing house. But now I want to talk about, so in 2015, the owners received variance. They had their existing house here. This was also existing, but the rest of the hashing was added, additions and garage. They encroached within the established building setback and the side yard setback. But going back to the bonus, if done during this time, they would have been able to go to that 6,933 square feet per code. That code is meant to keep the existing housing stock of Highland Park and just to promote additions. So it's something they could have utilized in 2015, but since they did not, they are no longer eligible for bonus FAR because of the section 150.703.3B3. Any permitted additions after June 28, 2004, you cannot use the bonus FAR.
So Patrick, are they not eligible for the bonus FAR because they got did they get a variance for when they did their?
So it's not for the variance, it's just because the addition was created. So you could, they could have had, say this addition was all within code, they didn't have a variance, they still would not be allowed to use the bonus FAR because of the addition.
And the bonus FAR would never be available to them anymore, gone forever.
Correct. And then so we didn't receive any comments. No other divisions had comments. And so again, the request for relief is to exceed the allowable FAR by 41 square feet and to use the Chapter 150 zoning code of approval. If you have any questions, we also have the applicant here to speak on their behalf.
Questions for staff? Is there someone who would like here that would like to be heard on behalf of the appellant? Welcome, sir. Thank you for your patience. If you could state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Sam King. I live at 36557 North Elizabeth Drive, Lake Villa, Illinois. I'm the architect for the owner.
Okay, Mr. King, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll make this brief because it's getting late. But the homeowner is asking for just a 0.2% increase in FAR. It's very minor. But the reason for this addition is to solve a problem they have on existing roof lines. The second floor roof lines have double gables on the side east elevation, which traps a lot of snow and water, which is creating water damage in their house through ice damming, continual ice damming every winter. So we came up with a solution to modify their roof. In order to do that, we wanted to build over their existing flat roof over on the right side. We're not increasing any footprint on the ground level. We're just adding the second floor above the existing roof of the first floor. And by doing that, we can adjust the roof lines so that we eliminate this double gables condition in the back of the house in the corner and avoid this snow, water damming condition in that water trapped condition they have right now. And also adds, we try to balance the house front elevation by slightly offsetting the addition, articulating that, but still adding a dormer to match the existing 4 dormers on the house. And so it kind of balances out the whole house because the entrance is not centered. You got 4 windows right now, but the 5th window and the 5th dormer will kind of balance the house out in the front of the house. So if you have any questions for me, I could answer them.
I see that you've addressed the standards for granting a variance in your one of your submissions. I would just like to add or ask you if there's anything you want to add to what you've already set forth there.
No, there's nothing really to add.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do.
Yeah.
In terms of the ice damming, have they tried using heating coils?
Yes.
Or like what have they tried that hasn't worked, and what would happen if it was just like extending the roof structure or something like that? Why is this the only way to handle it?
Well, eliminating that double, the owners here, in fact, David is, Rosenberg's here if he wants to, yeah, you want to speak, you come up. About the,
I could first ask you to state your name and address for the record, please.
David Rosenberg, 333 Woodland.
And Mr. Rosenberg, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please go ahead.
The water infiltration from the ice dam has happened twice. The initial construction included using a metal roof for that valley area and adding some technical stuff, extra waterproofing under it. And that didn't work. After it happened the first time, we added heating cables and some beefed up waterproofing, and it happened again. And so at this point, our view was we could keep adding materials, but like we don't want to have to tear out our kitchen and bedroom again. So like really the best thing, it's not the cheapest thing to do, but like we can't have.
and the reason for that 41 square foot is we could make it conform, but that would make us push that front of the house, push back further, another 4 feet, and it will really actually make it look worse from the front of the house. And we really can't put the dormer on that either because that brings the ridge line down. So we wanted to maintain the front look by bringing that forward. That allows us to put that dormer up and match the existing front of the house better. By complying with the code, it really distracts the architecture of the front of the house.
Any other questions? Seeing none, is there anybody else that here to be heard on this matter? Apparently not. Okay, at this point, we will poll the members as to their opinions. I don't have a lot of choice, so I guess we'll start with member Stansky.
All right, well, thank you for setting out all the standards here. The one standard that I was looking at carefully was standard 4, with the alleged hardship has not been created by any person presently having a proprietary interest in the property. Obviously, the design flaw was not anything that you intended. So, and that's not your fault whatsoever. So, because I'm okay, or because I believe that hardship, or that standard has been met, I think that all the standards have been met, and I would be for approving this.
Go over to member Yabla.
I concur with member Trushansky. The 4th standard to me was the hardest one to overcome, because if we were to say that that we could blame everything on a bad architect, then no one would have an interest, their own proprietary interest. But I think in this situation, you have a real problem and need a solid solution, and this one seems to have been thought through, and I appreciate the time and the effort as well as the care of making it pretty from the street. So I would be in favor.
Member Beck.
So I have to agree, it was number 4, the hardship not being created by a person having a proprietary interest, but they didn't create this problem. It was a mistake by the previous architect. In a former life, I was a roofer, and a little roof like this, who couldn't have predicted it would be a problem? So I'll vote in favor of granting this variance.
I agree with my colleagues. I too would vote in favor. I'd add that not only was it not caused by the petitioner, the hardship, but I think it was pretty much unforeseeable until it started leaking. So accordingly, I think the standards have been met, and I would vote in favor of it as well. And at this point, I would entertain a motion.
Member Yablon makes a motion to approve the order as drafted.
Member Beck will second.
That's a motion by member Yeblon to approve the order as drafted, seconded by member Beck. Patrick, can we get a roll call, please?
Member Trushansky,
Aye.
member Beck,
Aye.
member Yablon,
Aye.
and Vice Chair Bay.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, thank you. I agree. Okay, and our last order of new business is variation 2023-00012, property address 1691 Sunnyside Avenue, appellant Sharon Burek. Staff, do we have a presentation, please?
Yes. 1 second. Okay. Cool. So 1691 Sunnyside Avenue is our next case. The applicant Sharon Brack, is the owner of the property. The proposal is to construct new additions within the established building setback. It is located in the R3 zoning district. Minimum lot area is 40,000 square feet. They're currently under, and we're doing a review for legal lot of record. Cal just sent me the information today, so I'll review that before building permit is done. But I did a quick little look, and they're good. But just wanted to state that for the record. The existing home was built in 1939, according to Lake County Assessor's Office, and the request is to encroach into the established building setback of 66.25 feet by 13.9 feet for a total encroachment of 318 square feet. This is the site. It's located close to the R4 district and in the R3 district. Here's an aerial. A lot of trees on the property, so it's a little hard to see the actual property, but I'm trying to get a line of, because this is an established building setback, we'll be looking at the roof lines of the existing homes of the block. This is the plot of survey, so the blue outline is the current property, and the orange line are the setback. The front yard setback is, again, 66.25 square feet, and that is the established building setback. As this is the R3 zoning district, the requirement is 40 feet for that zoning district. And also in 1992, this house went under a zoning variation where they got approval to build this section here of the house, the garage and other bedrooms that encroached within the side yard and the established building setback. As this is increasing the bulk that's within the established building setback, that is why they're back here. They will not be encroaching more into that established building setback, but because of the bulk, they needed a variation from that. Here is a property photo. Not my best work on this one. There was a construction signs around it, and there's a lot of trees on the property, but this is the existing house. And then I tried to get a side shot showing house, how close it is to its neighbors within line. Again, a little fuzzy, but I'll have other images to show the information a little better. So the blue is the existing house, and the yellow are the additions that they are proposing. The back addition is all within code, so there's no issues there. The two additions here are encroaching within the established building setback. This will be a kitchen great room area, and this total encroachment is 110 square feet, and it is 57.83 feet from the property line. And then this will be a gallery and new kind of front door area. That will be 208 square feet of encroachment, and that will be 52.66 feet from the front property line. It's hard to tell, but it's actually 6 inches behind where the garage currently sits. So the established building setback. This is the entire street. It's a very long street. Up here, you'll notice that this house is 122 feet back. This house here is 94 feet back. So there are some houses that kind of skew the established building setback to be a little further. And this is a zoomed in version of showing where this is an approximation of what the established building setback line is here. but just showing where the current is sit, its nearest numbers.
As we like to do, Patrick, have you done a calculation if you remove the outliers as to what the established building setback would be?
Oh, I should have. That was my
If
mistake.
you haven't, that's okay. Obviously, there's a couple outliers that would
Yeah, I
make
should
the-
have
it would-
removed those to see what it was. Sorry, I did not.
You have a feeling that it would be within it would certainly push it forward, and that possibly would be within the,
I think it would still, because there are a lot of houses on that block, I think it would still need relief from the encroachment, but I can't speak completely on it. I can, maybe when Cal's doing it, I can do a quick calculation to get that number. But just speaking on established building setback, again, that is just to maintain the setback of the block. In R3, there is no max. In R5 up, you can only do 150% of what the zoning code's setback is. So say you're in R6 and you have 25 feet, you have a maximum of 37.5 feet as your established building setback. R4 and below does not have that. They just, whatever the housing block is, that's what it is. Just wanted to kind of bring up that information and just the elements of the established building setback. If we were to go with that 150% rule, it would only be 60 feet as the established building setback. But that is not the rule. Just bringing it up as a more information on what our code is. We don't have any comments from forestry or any other divisions. Anything with trees will be held within the permitting process, and I received no public comment on this case. To review, to encroach into the established building setback of 66.25 feet by 13.59 feet for a total encroachment of 318 square feet. Again, this is a Chapter 150 zoning. Use your Chapter 150 zoning code standards of approval. And that's it.
thank you. Any questions for staff? No? Okay. Is there someone here who would like to be heard on behalf of the appellant?
My name is Cal Bernstein. I'm the attorney for the applicant. I have not been sworn in this case.
In this case, then we will promptly swear you, Mr. Bernstein. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the whole truth, or the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you hearing us tonight, and this is my last official act of 2023 is handling this case tonight, so I'm pretty excited about that. This is a very interesting situation. This house has been vacant for several years, and it's rapidly deteriorating. This is, as was pointed out by Patrick, this lot is heavily wooded. In fact, I've in the past represented two different owners or potential owners of this property. In 2000, I believe about 5 years ago, we actually filed an application to demo this home and to construct a new home on this property, which would require the removal, ironically, of 2 heritage trees. And that application, ironically,
We don't want to go there.
no, so that actual application was actually filed and then withdrawn by the applicant. Then a subsequent owner came in and was going to do something very similar and decided not to go forward. But so this property is, I'm guessing, because I walk by it all the time, it's part of my walk in the area, it's probably been empty, I'm guessing, for 5 or 6 years. And up until this applicant purchased the home, it's been looked at as a tear down, which would require a significant amount of tree loss. This applicant has decided that they want to preserve the existing house. They're looking to age in place, which is popular this day. This was the first case, you also heard that. And to do that, they have to do some modifications to the front area. So when the garage was built in 1992, when the variation was received, they kind of jerry-rigged the garage so that in order to get into the house from inside the garage, you have to go down steps into a lower level, then back up steps. So it's not a way where you could just enter the house at grade, just walking directly from the garage into the house. So the purpose of the gallery, what we're calling the gallery, is allowing the access to the house at grade so no stairs are required. And so So that combined with the trying to build a first floor master on the rear of the property, which does not require any relief, and also to make this house, to update this house to 21st century living by building a great room and new kitchen is driving the request. As pointed out by Patrick, the encroachment is actually less than the house currently encroaches, granted only by 6 inches, but it does encroach less than the existing house. And it works seamlessly with the existing structure. Unfortunately, the architect could not be here tonight, so I'm actually serving both roles. And so the idea here was to allow for access into the house at grade without the necessity of going over stairs, and to update this home. We're going through the standards, cannot yield a reasonable return. First of all, it's an existing non-conforming house. It already is non-conforming as a result of the 1992 variance. It's been on and off the market for 5 or 6 years now, vacant. So the marketplace is telling you that it currently, as it currently exists and currently stands, it cannot yield a reasonable return. Failing to allow these upgrades to the house would probably most likely bring another applicant coming in here to tear it down and start over, and potentially losing several trees on their property, as the previous application that was withdrawn was intending to do. That's not a desire to make any more money for the property. The Bureks, Mr. Burek is here tonight. They're intending to build this for their own home, and they're going to be moving into it once it's completed. As with regard to the hardship, again, it's existing non-conforming. As Patrick pointed out, there's some outliers on the street. 1940, it's a very long street. Sunnyside is actually, it's one block, but it's really several blocks long. And so that creates a situation where it warps the established front yard setback. The hardship is unique to this property because of the site context of where the existing home is sited, and the desire to keep the existing home and not tear it down. Based on that, we addressed the other standards in our letter of situation. We're available for comments, and we appreciate you coming out right before Christmas to hear our case.
At least 4 of us.
Yes. Well, the ones who are, I'm not going to say it.
Chair, I did the math and it's 64.4 would be the established building setback if you remove the 2 highest and the 2 lowest.
Okay, so they would
So it would decrease 2 feet.
still need relief, but it would decrease the amount of relief.
Yeah, by 2 feet.
But but again, we're not going any further than the existing encroachment.
Any
Thank you.
questions for Mr. Bernstein? Seeing none, is there anyone else to be heard on this matter?
No, you don't want to talk.
Okay. Sir, if you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Robert Burak, 16, where's my address? How new address going to be? 1691 Sunnyside, Highland Park.
That's your proposed address. Not
Proposed address. Right now, I'm renting a home in 1822 Berkeley because I sold my home in Hibernia.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed.
My first life, I was a builder. I understand everything you guys talked about tonight, pros and cons of tree removal, pros and cons of working around the ordinances of the City of Highland Park. I built this town for probably 25 years. In my old age, 65 years old, the reason we're doing this home is for my grandchildren. My grandchildren live 2 blocks away. Otherwise, I'd probably go south someplace, but my daughter would like us to be around for our grandkids. We have 3 grandkids. And so we found this mess, house full of raccoons, full of mold. It should be leveled. But being a builder, for me, it's just another project. So we decided, my wife and I decided, my wife is, we'll call her a tree hugger. She loves trees. So the fact that it had heritage trees was even more intriguing for her, and she really wanted this lot for that reason. And so we hired the architect, And the architect's first thing said, Bob, tear the house, not work. Different levels, high level. So it's got different levels. Just tear it down. Best way to do it. And I go, no, I'm not going to tear it down because it will involve coming in front of you guys to remove trees. We're doing this house for a couple reasons. One, my grandkids. Two, I take care of my mother-in-law who's 93 years old. That house is impossible for a person who's 93. It's impossible for me in another 10 years. So I have to make that house basically one level, handicap accessible, basic. That's why I'm putting a master on the first floor. Right now it's a bi-level, so you have some bedrooms left. Then you have these different levels. There's another level up to the right. So we're putting on the first floor as a master, and we're putting on a great room and redesigning the kitchen forward. As Cal mentioned, we're not coming any further than the existing house, right? We're not going any further than this. If we can't get and the reason the first story addition comes a little forward is because I can't go back because I'm saving the tree. That's the only reason that I would, slide it back. But there's that big, huge tree, heritage tree, which is cool. So we moved it forward. It's a couple feet. We, again, not thinking it was a big do because we're not even going past the front of the house anyway. But obviously, when we did the average, we're too far forward. But without that access from the garage into the house, forget about it. I can't do that. My mother-in-law, I'm not going into a basement and to go up there to the house. That's not, so house can't work for our family at all. And so we try to do as, minimal as possible, but require things to have a livable house. I mean, this house is, everyone's house is 6,000 square feet. This house is how big? Do you have how big it is? Like 2,900 now or something? It's not that big of a house. That's with that two-story eclectic look. So it's not a very large house, but we have a huge piece of property. How big is it? Almost an acre. But it's a small house on it, and we just want to preserve the look. We like the brick on the house, the existing brick on the house. So we want to kind of preserve that house and just add to the right and make it, all kind of blend together. Any questions?
You own the house now?
Yeah, we closed on it.
It's not contingent upon...
No, I closed on it. I put the fence up, everything. I spent all the money. The architect's done, everything's...
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bernstein, you have anybody else who wants to be heard or anything else you want to say? No. Okay, well, we will poll the members now, and we will start this time with Member Yablon.
And I appreciate not tearing down the existing house or endangering the heritage trees. It makes sense to me to line up, I guess we're going to call it the galley, with the existing structure. It would be weird to do it otherwise. I'm actually going to ask, oh, got it. Is there a reason why the other, I should have asked this sooner, I'm sorry. You're going to have to come back up. Sure. Should the first story addition, the yellow block?
The one-story addition?
Yeah, should that be further up? Like,
We'll come further forward. We'd love to do that.
well, not,
From an architectural standpoint.
yeah, like if we're here to make it something look
You have to be
pretty.
on so they can hear. So everyone watching on TV can hear you speak.
Yeah.
Architecturally, again, the architect's not here, but is there a picture of the front? You have a picture of the front, right? So that gable on the left will be on the right. So coming further forward definitely works. I could definitely come further forward. That's no problem at all. I would love to do that. I just don't want to push the envelope. I'm just sitting in the minimum. If you at least give me
I
the
know, I
flexibility,
can't
come up
believe
that
it.
line, I would love to do that.
Another,
I'm so sorry.
I love your design.
No.
It works.
No, you're here, you're making,
Galley, up to the galley, if we decide so, we'd love to do that.
Everyone hates me now.
I mean, it's only a couple feet, and would look better if it was in line. Yes, it would. Correct.
But that's not what you're asking for now. So you
No.
got your question answered?
Oh, sorry.
Here's my suggestion. Heard you, and if we decide that that's something we want to do, we'll just come back and seek and amend the order if you decide to approve the variation tonight, and let the architect, I mean, I don't want to speak for the architect about that because he's not here tonight.
Fair enough. That's
Yeah,
Good for
that
you.
makes it,
Thank you.
she's full for good consultation.
no, it's just,
It's very smart. It makes.
flattery will get you everywhere. So as it is, I believe the standards have been met, and I would vote to approve.
Member Beck.
I'll be succinct, yes.
Member Trusansky.
I agree with my colleagues, yes.
I also agree with my colleagues, and I would vote to grant the variance, and accordingly, I would entertain a motion.
Member Beck will move to approve the order as written.
Member Shishansky will second.
A motion by Member Beck to approve the order as written, seconded by Member Trusansky. Patrick, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Member Krasinski?
Aye.
Member Beck?
Aye.
Member Yablon?
Aye.
Member Vice Chair Beck?
Aye.
Thank you very much, and have a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for attending my audition for being the chair. next time will be for
Amazing. There'll be an article in the Tribune tomorrow about the reviewers here.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see, that moving on the agenda, item number 6, staff report. Patrick, do we have a staff report?
I guess we have the outgoing member resolution in the staff report. I have Member Hendrick's resolution there. One, could you all sign that before you leave?
Okay. I should probably read it into
And
the
then-
record as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So Hendrick can always come back and we can give it to him because I still need to get all the signatures and
Yeah, why don't we can just, I'll read it into the record, we can sign it and then deal with it as staff sees fit. So,
You can vet him
That's right.
when he comes back.
yes, okay, the resolution is, whereas William Hendrick has served with distinction as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals since February 2020, leading and participating in consideration of cases essential to the improvement of this community, its neighborhoods, and the quality of life therein, and whereas William Hendrick was responsible for promoting and increasing community awareness of the need for sound residential and commercial planning and the need to appropriately design public and private improvements in Highland Park during his tenure, there's a typo here, on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and whereas in being the institutional memory for the Zoning Board and in serving with honor his public service, William is a male, by the way. Yes, okay.
I'm sorry.
His public service attests to his steadfast, got it right there, integrity, wisdom, and excellence of character. Be it therefore resolved that the members of the Zoning Board of Appeals of Highland Park do hereby recognize William Hendrick for his dedicated and untiring public service as a member of the board on behalf of the residents of the city, and it is further resolved that as an expression of our respect and grateful appreciation to William Hendrick's service, we hereby adopt this resolution as a permanent record thereof on the 21st day of December 2023 in Highland Park, Illinois.
Huzzah.
Thank you.
Do I need a motion to approve this resolution? No?
No, I just.
Well, we're just-
Don't
We'll pass
bother signing
I,
it. I have.
Father sign it? Oh, yeah, we got some, we want to get the
Oh,
gender
So
correct.
we have to re-sign, I already signed it.
Oh, yeah,
so I have to
I-
re-sign it.
I know Councilman Ross has asked to say a few words as well, so please.
Thank you, and I will, I did go to Public Works to sign it, but you're going to reissue, okay. And I should have read it more carefully to see that. I sit here on behalf of City Council, and I know that Commissioner Hendrick is not here, but for the reading into the record, I would like to say to retiring Commissioner Will Hendrick that myself, the mayor, and City Council greatly appreciated his dedicated service and valued contributions to the work of the Zoning Board of Appeals and to our city. And we're grateful that he gave of his time and knowledge and volunteered his evenings to this work, and we wish him all the best in the new year. And on behalf of City Council and the mayor and myself, I would also like to say thank you to Chair Kevin Cullither, who is retiring from his role, but not from the ZBA. His service is greatly appreciated too, and we wish the entire ZBA all the best in the new year.
Thank you. Same to you and the rest of the council. Thank you very much. Okay, item number 7 on our agenda, miscellaneous. Is there any miscellaneous things to? No, nobody else is here. Nothing miscellaneous. As such, we'll move on to number 8. It's been a long meeting. Adjournment. I would entertain a motion.
And make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. That's a motion to adjourn by member Yablon, seconded by member Beck. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. We are adjourned.
Thank you.